Morning, everybody. Happy, what even day is it today? Wednesday. One of those days. Happy Wednesday. What's up, Capital P? Home. Jesse, Jean, good morning, everybody. All right, well, here we have our overnight action. Not super exciting. Man, not a lot of bars printed at all. Morning, Squid. Hey, Tom. Yeah, so today is FOMC Minutes Day. Important to note that is different than the FOMC meeting. This should not be really that crazy of an event. I don't think there's any new information that is going to come from the minutes that the market doesn't already know. So yeah, but the market still may be slow leading up to the news anyway. Jackson Hole's what the market is going to be waiting on Friday. Of course, Fed Powell speaking. Good morning, Tim. Greetings. Greetings. I'm on the other side of the country here. And we're getting a little bit of fall as well. Crisp morning going on. Market open here in 1 minute. Sorry, 1 minute 30 seconds. Ooh, a cool 84 in Houston. Nice. See Moses calling out the job revision at 10 a.m. I had not been notified of that. Not sure exactly what you're talking about there. There's crude oil inventories at 10:30. I I don't know, man. I think we might be looking at a different day. All right, here we go. Market is open. Morning, Diego. You guys are finding all sorts of nuanced boutique news events. Like I said though, I don't think the market is really waiting on anything, not even the FOMC minutes. The only thing would be Friday. Jackson Hole, with Powell speaking. I don't really expect, unless some random news comes out that no one knows about, another war or something. I don't think there should be any news events really market moving until then. Well, right now in a pretty clear range. Just need to wait for the market to go somewhere. I mean, we're in an inside range in an inside day. So we just need to be patient, especially would like to see the market get above these swing highs, get above those lows, and ideally get above yesterday's high or low. Slight bullish bias going. We'll see if it continues or if we head back down to the range bottom. Getting a nice little pop here on the Nasdaq. S&P hasn't really followed along yet. Just kind of holding that EMA here. Let's go check out that daily level Jess is talking about. Yeah, man, just look at this action over the last couple weeks. Pretty crazy how far up we've come. And things were looking pretty bleak there. a pretty significant move down, and then we have just rallied the heck off of that. A little bit of a downtrend working here. Not a very strong trend at all, but see if anything comes of it. Hey, Capital, thanks for the coffee. I'm needing that. I'm needing that today. Pushing back up here. S&P looks like it is forming a little range within a range. Range within a range within an inside day. So if that doesn't tell you, hey, this is not a great trading environment, I don't know what does. Could possibly get a short on the Nasdaq. Do you have this little channel working? We get two nice legs, maybe. It'd be a really big maybe though, because no clear bias yet. Way too big of a candle anyway. Getting a little volume pop here. S&P is at the top of the range. We're going to see if this has the juice to break out. Morning, Tiago. Starting to get above that range area. Watch for a failed breakout here. Doesn't look like we're getting a clean breakthrough the top of this range. Very possible to get a failed breakout. I'd be interested in a short here if it sets up. I'd want to see one little attempt higher, another attempt higher, take that short, may even get a move to the bottom of the range. Moving down pretty quickly. I don't know if we're going to get the entry I'm looking for. Nasdaq, I would also be interested in a short. Again, if it sets up, I don't even think it's going to give us a lower high. So clear range structure playing out here, guys. Keep those channels tight and look for reversals. Morning, Daryl. Morning, Martin. Yeah, Jesse, that's a good call out. Magnificent 7. No solid direction. And that's usually always going to be seen on the Nasdaq. If they're in agreement, you'll see fluid directional movement on NQ. S&P making another solid attempt to break out here. One looks a little bit more likely. Nasdaq had a nice close above that range. S&P looking to close above that overnight high. Perhaps coming back down into the range here. And again, I would consider a failed second entry long if it sets up. Still do not have an attempt higher here on the NAS, or sorry, on the S&P. And clear bullish bias, although very, very weak. This could be the first little attempt higher here. Maybe we'll get a lower high. Yeah, I'm sure we've all felt that pain before, Jesse. Trying to predict a breakout or a breakdown. Don't do it here, folks. It's not high probability trading. You will only lose in the long run, I promise. Ace, good question. Could it be a spike in a channel, or is it too wide to consider within a trading range? A spike in a channel needs to be a strong pattern. It means that you have really solid buying or selling pressure in one direction. So therefore, it's not something you want to look for too much in a trading range. Could it be the pattern? Absolutely. But you don't want to be too early on it. You can start going with a spike in a channel if it keeps going, right? If you start to get up in here, start to get above the range and start holding that, that's when you can go, okay, this pattern is legit, it's playing out. But otherwise, we're in a choppy market, a ranging market, and so spike in a channel is not that reliable of a pattern. It's more likely when you have a range that this would just actually be the point in which it would really drop off hard. So I'd hold off on that for a minute, let the market develop, and we'll see what happens. You're a good sprinter, Toad. That is true. You don't really need to worry about the long run. Just get that one good trade and then retire. Right on that EMA yet again. I don't necessarily like this second entry long here, Toad. Could work, but we're at the top of a range. It would not be worth it to me. Nasdaq trying. Have that second entry pattern going down. Of course, not tradable here at the top of the range, but could indicate that we are going up if this continues to, if it makes a new high here. We'll see. Area of development, guys. You gotta just let the market do what it's gonna do here. There's no setup for us yet. S&P looks like it wants to make a new high. Very close to it. Blows above the range. I think the S&P will try. S&P, like 2 ticks away from a new higher. This is when we can start saying, okay, maybe this spike in a channel is legit. And we could get a long setup if we come up to the top of the channel and come back down, and this level right here holds. If that plays out and we get a second entry, I will definitely be interested in a long. And yesterday's high is also within reach there. So note I'm looking for on the S&P. The Nasdaq is a little trickier because there's not really a clean channel. This is very wide for the range structure. I would not trust it. So even if we get a clean pullback on the Nasdaq, I don't really know if I want to trade it. And this channel may be legit and everything, but I don't like it. So I think the better opportunity is going to come on ES this morning. Alright, careful with this move, guys. This is very, very vertical. Easily reversed. When you get a vertical move like this, very easily reversed. And again, no real solid way to map this out on NQ. Maybe like that. I mean, it did go to the top, so we'll keep this monitored. Maybe that's the better pattern on the S&P at this point. Doesn't look great. So watching this overshoot, seeing where it goes. Nasdaq staying strong through this. S&P has put in, 3 bearish candles, and the Nasdaq is close to making a new high. Big lower high here on ES. I could be enticed for a failed second entry long if it sets up really nicely. Alright, well here is the failed second entry long on ES. Didn't set up good. And why is that? Well, gonna move down. Here's the first entry. That's good. Good so far. But then look at the EMAs acting as support here. We pushed above right off the EMA on this big green candle. And then we get the failed second entry long. Could work, obviously. But you don't want to see the EMA acting as support like that. Does not bode well for the trade. Plus, it would have to set up absolutely perfectly since we are in an uptrend. So our bias still is up. Nasdaq too is quite strong. Hasn't even really pulled back, just consolidating up here. The high of the channel. Pilar? No, I mean the signal bar was just fine. Again, I explained what I didn't like about it, that the EMA was acting as support here. The signal bar was totally fine. It was very bearish. The downtrend on ES looks to be played out with a break and a new low. Especially with the Nasdaq looking strong. We may start to get a long setup here. If we can come down and test the range high, that would be great. And I'd be looking for a failed second entry short. But we may just push up without giving that. I really like what I'm seeing on the Nasdaq. Continued strength. So once we get a pullback on the Nasdaq, as long as the S&P isn't bombing, we could have a really good trade. Be looking for a second entry long. Pullback, 2 legs to the EMA. Nice bullish signal bar. The one caveat being, I do not want us to come and reject off of yesterday's high and then pull back. That will not be good. We need to see the pullback happen before yesterday's high. You don't want to reject off of resistance and then bet that it's going to go back to that resistance. we have one more little push down on the S&P could start to set up good for us. Woo. Look at that. Wow, big old candle. Bull trap for sure. If anyone has a squawk box, I'm wondering. Looks like a news. I'm looking around to see if anyone I thought the job revision was at 10 a.m., not 10:15 a.m. Well, regardless of whatever kind of news it is, as always, we just follow the price. So, oh, it's just now being reported. Okay, so it was the jobs revision, but it's just now being reported. Thanks, C. Moses, for keeping us in the loop on all that. Appreciate it. Pretty impulsive move down, so don't necessarily expect it to continue. Those news spikes, unless they have follow through, they're not very reliable. Yeah, we still will look at this move down as a possibility to short. So we will see what happens at the EMA. My guess is that we probably just spike up Usually what happens on these kind of overreactive news moves. But we'll see. If the EMA holds, we get 2 clean legs. Short will be in order. Here we go at the EMA. As I said, I don't really expect EMA to hold. In all likelihood, we'll just jump through it. Yep, there we go. Looks even stronger on the Nasdaq. Still could anticipate that new high of this uptrend. So hopefully, thing will give us just a little bit of a pullback where we can make that trade. See if we can get that little pullback here. Neither index has made a new high. So if we can get a little pullback, second entry could be our chance. Still not quite getting that pullback. S&P looks like it might make a little break in a new high of that uptrend. Nasdaq still has a chance. Starting that pullback now. Come on, Nasdaq. Let's get back to that EMA. Offer us a setup. S&P has a break. Not technically have a new high yet, so still could get the setup there too. Nasdaq not holding the EMA, so not looking good for the long anymore. Lots of weakness here on the NQ. See if it starts to drag ES down. Nearly making that new high. We still have not had a decent setup. How we doing out there, folks? Has everyone been able to sit on their hands through all this? Practice some restraint? Anyone have their face melted off yet? Patient as a python, attaboy. Face gently massage, hey, can't go wrong with that. ES has a break and a new high. Right there. So we'll see if we start to correct. That's what we would expect. Not a bad idea at all, Tom. This whole week should be very light, except Friday. Friday, hopefully the market can move. Powell speaking. Could keep pushing up here to a new high on the ES. The Nasdaq is struggling to get above the EMA. But either way, guys, we are in for some chop. We're in for some mixed trading. That much is certain. Not going to be a trending day, so don't expect that. Whew, another big drop. Nasdaq even more so, making it all the way to that news drop low. Volatile day indeed. Well, the one good thing about a day like today is it is pretty good for passing evals with these big volatile moves. About all I could give today. Not great for finding high quality setups. Ooh, sorry, Joanna. No fun. Yeah, and it really depends too on your strategy for evals. If you are not a consistently profitable trader, I would highly recommend taking those evals slow, treating them as if they were real money, looking for high quality setups. It's going to be better for you in the long run. The only reason I, go through evals fast and try to pass them quickly is because I know that once I get to the funded stage, I'm going to be fine. I can trade. I always trade nice, patient, slow base hits, building up, etc. But if you can't do that yet, if you don't have a clean track record of doing that month after month, take those evals slow. Like, it'll just give you more time to learn too, and develop as a trader before you have real money on the line. So I'll get off my soapbox, but that'd be my unsolicited advice. Wow, look at that. Super volatile, super dangerous here. This is not the kind of price action you want to mess with. But we do have a breaking new high of this uptrend that we had originally identified. So normally we would expect a correction, but this is some unusual price action. So kind of anything can happen here. Nasdaq as well. We had a move up, break, new high. Typically would expect a correction, but with all this volatility, who freaking knows? Ricardo, I wouldn't hold your breath on that FOMC minutes release. Yeah, I don't anticipate it to be anything crazier than what we've already seen. Alright, well, this is some crazy action, guys. Again, typically would expect a correction from here with all this volatility. I don't really know. Good day to keep it light. Don't be going crazy in this market, you know, unless you're trying to pass some evals quick. Actually, it's a really great day for that, but otherwise for high probability setups, not a bad one to get some other work done. But anyway, I'm gonna head over to the Discord for the rest of the day. I don't see any immediate setups that we're gonna be able to trade. Hope to see y'all over there. I know many of you are part of the team. If you're not, there is a link below to join. Thanks for hanging out with me on this wacky morning. Hope you all have a great trading day. Stay safe out there, protect that capital, and I will see you next time. Peace, everybody.